One of the hardest parts about going out and adventuring is finding people to adventure with. I know some of you don't have the best social skills out there, but surely like-minded individuals such as yourselves could figure something out, if only to increase your chances at surviving. So go on, go and mingle. You're all so young, all of you. I am the eldest. Me. I'm old.
One of the more complicated parts about our server to the people who are new to West Marches or D&D in general is the LFG system, or looking for group. Think of it like queuing up for a quest in an MMO. LFGing is the process where a group of players decide that they're free for the next couple hours, so they want to queue up for a DM to potentially pick them up for a game. To get started under the Game Time category within our Discord, check out the channel Getting Into Games. This channel has a thorough guide on how to get started with acquiring a group and getting a DM to run your group a game. First, you must establish making a character. Once you've created that character, you can get into a game in one of two ways. You can ping for a dungeon master with a group of players, or you can join a scheduled game by a dungeon master looking for players. If you choose the first option, you're going to be pinging for a DM. If a dungeon master hasn't posted any recent quests, you can attempt to group up with players in #LookingForGroup, and try to get a spontaneous game and ping for DM. Rules for grouping up and pinging for a DM will be in those respective channels, but they're also listed below. When starting out, you want to ping your respective group with @LFG-Low, LFG-Mid, LFG-High, or LFG-Epic. Note that grouping with your respective tier isn't necessarily a requirement, but a recommendation, as most DMs tend to avoid groups with high level gaps between the lowest and highest members. For this reason, to increase the likelihood of yourself getting a game, try and stick within the bracket above your tier or the bracket below your tier when queuing, unless you know for a fact that a brave DM is willing to run your group that has a 17 level gap in it. In addition, only ping again if you haven't found a group within 2 hours of your initial ping. If you're completely out of options and no one seems to be showing up, you can also queue up for a solo game using the same template as the regular pinging template. Speaking of which, the ping for DM template. You want to start by listing the players with their character, their level, and their class. You want to specify what type of game you're looking for, whether you want it to be voiced, a text game, or a play-by-post. If you want anything specific from the DM, you should also include those in the wants section. DMs might not follow this, but some may want to know what your character wants. Then just ping the DM role with your template in the Ping for DM channel. As a note, you can only ping once every hour, and you must use the format above every other hour to ensure that the group remains the same as the first time you pinged. Make sure you also put how long you've been waiting for a game. It's a nice tool for DMs to use when considering to pick you up. Here we have an example ping using the players Kamari and Calvin. That's me! Here we have Kamari listed as a level 20 Runechild and Watcher Sorkadin, and Calvin as a level 20 Zealot Barbarian. They want a VC game, and they also want to go on an adventure. So, in the type section, they put VC, and in the want section, they put adventure. Then, they simply ping the Dungeon Master role. Finally, for some general unspoken rules about grouping, a lot of DMs don't go higher than a 5 level gap, so use that in consideration when you're grouping. There's also no limit on how many people you can have in a group. Theoretically, you could have up to 100. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it's theoretical, you can do it. But generally, people don't pick up groups with more than 6 people. That's all on information for how to look for a group, but if you're curious about pinging for players, scheduled games, or RP requests, look at the Getting Into Games channel when you get done with this video. And remember, our DMs are volunteers. We try to give them some fat rewards for their hard work, but at the end of the day, they're not getting paid for this. So don't get discouraged if you don't get a game right away. It could take a bit, but once you actually get inside a game, you won't regret it.